Hola gringos, and welcome to game 2 of the Anzac Cup series between Dota All Day and Salty Adventures with Choy. I'm going to be Fletch, and yeah, coming to game 2 for a pretty commanding win by Dota All Day in the last game, getting a GG by about the 20-minute mark, with a few good plays coming out of a Lena Earthshaker combo. And so yeah, now we're diving back into number 2 of this Captain's Draft tournament, so yeah, teams can't really prepare for this beforehand, so you get a lot more impromptu strategies. They're going to be looking for, I assume, supports in the early picks. So I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a Crystal Maiden picked up, Skywrath coming out again pretty early, and Vengeful Spirit within the first 4 for both teams. Lena actually getting banned out there. Very clever decision there coming from Salty Adventures. So yeah, the overall bans are going to be Techies, Nagasar, and Soul Spirit from Dota All Day, with Earthshaker, Batrider, and the Lena getting banned out by Salty Adventures. And the Alchemist pickup is going to be made pretty quickly by Salty Adventures. And that's a sign that they're going to want this game to go as long as possible. So I suspect Dota All Day are going to counter with a much more immediate lineup. We're probably going to be seeing a lot of heroes with a lot of spam abilities, so they can make the fights happen in the early game. And it's actually going to be the Juggernaut pickup. When comparing Juggernaut to the Alchemist, I'm kind of in favor of the Alchemist here, especially as the game gets longer and longer. Just an unstoppable Alchemist is basically all Dota All Day is going to face past the 40-minute mark, so they need to be able to finish the game as early as they can to prevent this. And they do pick up the Crystal Maiden, as I mentioned earlier, and it's going to be Clockwork actually coming out from Salty Adventures. So they're going for a pretty aggressive mid-game strategy here. Yeah, the Clockwork Initiation hook is going to be coming out. Invoker is always just a magical hero to come across in the mid lane. And Dota All Day is going to respond with a ganking lineup, picking up the Clinks. Clinks plus the Crystal Maiden means that no one on the side of Salty Adventures is going to be safe in the first maybe 10 or so minutes of the game. And there will be the Vengeful Spirit support pickup as mentioned earlier. Now, Salty Adventures, I'd be surprised they didn't go for the Skywrath Mage here. They are in need of a bit more support. They're looking for the positions 4 and 5 now, so we could be seeing a Venomancer, we could be seeing the Skywrath. That's just what I'd be looking for if I was them right now. Venomancer for that little extra bit of team fight, but they do end up going for the Nyx Assassin, who's essentially a walking Impale and Assassin. Maybe not the best call, but I do love good Nyx, so if they're able to pull it off, this is a squishy-ish lineup in the early game, so if Nyx does decide to go for the early Dagon build, should be a pretty much a demolition coming out from him. And Skywrath Mage will be the final pick as the position 5 support, so it's likely going to be position 4 Nyx, which is a bit odd. And then a Viper going to be coming from Dota All Day. I'm in favor of a Viper pick here. Seems he can be a little bit spammy, but you know, it's just what he's made to do. And Salty Adventures now going to have a very hard early game with a lot of tick damage coming out from the Viper strikes. And here's our Q. Not to mention the a reasonable amount of stuns and slows here, such as the Natural Viper, not just the Corrosive Skin, the Toxic Spit thing, that is his other passive, whose name I constantly forget. Crystal Maiden there coming out with her stun, Vengeful Spirit with one of their own, so whereas by comparison the Unstable Concoction, technically I guess the Hook Shot, and the Nyx Assassin Impale are the only stuns coming out from Salty Adventures. So yeah, a lot more solo kill potential here coming out from Dota All Day in my opinion. And Rick and Morty announcer pack, just because he's possibly the best announcer pack, even with the Fallout one just coming out, but anyway. Alright, I'll run through the team lineups real quick. Looking at my team, going to be playing on your Crystal Maiden, Eldest Dad 420, Blazer, going to be on your Juggernaut. Going to have Cluxy on the Viper, Phase No Kill, going to be on that, on the Clinks, and that just leaves... Why would you do this to me? That leaves Donk going to be playing on, I believe that was the Nyx Assassin. No, not the Nyx Assassin. I've had a total temporary blank. I'll get back to you on that one. Meanwhile, over on the side of the Radiant, it's going to be let's just call him Fair. Going to be on your Invoker with the Super Saiyan hair. Going to be Nick on your Alchemist. Going to be Sargia playing on that Clockwork. Grim Peeper going to be playing on Scarith Mage, and 6836 going to be on that Nyx Assassin. Alright, but yeah, just looking at these team strategies, it's going to be a much slower game coming up for Assault. They're going to be looking to stretch this one out for as long as they can without it going into the late game, because come late game when Clink starts having his Orchid Malevolence and just a lot of raw damage, that's not something you want to be coming up against. So I suspect between the 30-minute and the 45-minute mark, this is going to be Salt's game. But I don't think Dad are going to try and let this happen. They're going to be going for a lot of rotation kills in the early game, utilizing the invis from Clinks and the pretty powerful stun from Vengeful Spirit. Vengeful Assassin, that isn't a hero, Scott, you idiot. These lanes are also going to be looking pretty nice for Dad, with only the one melee hero, so there's going to be a lot of harassment damage coming out when contrasted with the 3 melee heroes coming out from Salt. So Salt's in for some pretty difficult lanes here at the moment. I wouldn't be surprised if we did see the Juggernaut off lane up top, looking for a trial lane maybe down bot, but with Mateen making his way up to the top, we could just be seeing dual lanes, which is pretty standard. It's not something that I necessarily agree with, but it's seems to be the standard in these kinds of tournaments. And just each team's trying to scout each other out. We got 2 members of Dad in No Phase No Kill and Donk making the rotations, chucking down the Observer Ward to see where everyone is behind lines. Eldest Dad scouting out Sargia, trying to run his way through his jungle, just going to be exchanging a little bit of chip damage. Blade Fury is actually going to come out. It takes Sargia down to under half, taking him down to only 200 health. He has got to be careful here, but we'll get away. Did have Grim Peeper coming out from the south, if need be. Coming back in to get a few more right clicks is Eldest Dad. But yeah, alas, Salt didn't actually get another ward placement down up in that top jungle just then. So it's going to be Cloxy likely picking up the Bounty Rune. And it's going to be Dad getting both runes as well as the first blood, with Juggernaut actually taking out the Clockwork. Off in the background, Clockwork just stuck around too long on too low a health. And so yeah, Dad off to a bit of a blinder of a start. There's a percentage somewhere that says you have a higher chance of winning if you get both the Bounty Runes by about, I think it's 6%. So Dad off to a pretty happy start right now. And so yeah, this is going to be just a hell of a hard lane for Nick to actually get anywhere in, just because there will be a lot of harassment damage coming out from No Phase No Kill, as well as Donk, who's now decided to come join in lane. Nick's already getting dropped down to about half with that stun coming out there, so he has got to be careful here. A couple more right clicks and he might actually be going down. Goes down to the Clinks! And that is pretty unexpected. That is not how I expected this to go, but yeah, Alchemist is, like you just saw, going to have one hell of a hard time in the lanes. Coming back to the mid lane, it's going to be Cloxy coming up against the Invoker. If Invoker has gone all Exhort, so that should be some pretty good advantages for him. If he puts one more level in that, he'll be doing about, what is that, nearly 80 right click damage. So yeah, he'll have a pretty easy time in the mid lane, even up against the power of the Viper. Sargia has to be more careful here. He keeps getting worked down here by the Juggernaut, getting dropped to below half with the combination of the Jug as well as the Crystal Maiden. So Eldest Dad putting on the hurt on this Clockwork. Clockwork still not even sitting at level 2 yet, while Juggernaut's got almost a whole level on him. Meanwhile, in mid lane, the stun will come out from Donk. Tries to call the Sunstrike. Does get the hit, but only with the 1 level in Exhort, meaning doesn't really do all that much damage. So Viper will get yet another kill. That is, ooh, sorry, he didn't get the first one. That was the Juggernaut that got the first one. So yeah, 1 kill in each lane so far, going the way of Dad Gaming. And as turned into a trial lane down bot, there's Grim Peeper and 6836 here, trying to keep Nick alive as long as they can, but still only staying at level 2 with only the 2 last hits, so he's not having a fun time. Sentry Ward actually coming out here, trying to scout No Phase No Kill, but he'll be able to get out of the Sentry Ward range. Turns around, gets a couple of right clicks into Grim Peeper. Absolutely decimates his health. Ooh, meanwhile in the top lane, Juggernaut going down to the Clockwork. Probably just getting a little bit bold after the good start early. No phase, no kill, does have to be careful. He's sitting straight under a sentry ward. The Sunstrike will come out as well, getting the connection. And he's going to just try and juke out the sentries. Will do so. Salt doesn't have the mana or the cooldown to be able to chuck out an Impale. So there will be Clinks getting out of there alive. He's likely going to need someone to come back into lane just to support him, because coming up against this kind of harassment damage, he has got two of the main stunners in his lane, so should be kind of a pain for him. Also, not to mention, trying to harass back a Nyx Assassin is pretty difficult with that spiked Carapace. Always going to be playing on the back of his mind. But already off to an early good start are Dad, not just on the kills, but even with their last hits. So top 3 last hits at the moment, going the way of Dad and eldest Dad, El Senior Dad, also picking up another kill on the Clockwork up in the top lane. So yeah, very good start coming out for Dad Gaming. Already a pretty big net worth advantage with a 3k gold lead at only the 4-minute mark. And this is pretty much exactly where Dad need to be. They need to be denying heroes like the Alchemist farm. And with Alchemist only sitting on his level, only sitting on 6 last hits, and level 2 by the 4-minute mark, this is not where he wanted to be with his game so far. So yeah, Alchemist is going to be having a lot of struggle trying to actually keep this lane competitive. And he's just so poor. And there's going to be a kill attempt coming out against No Phase No Kill. Trying to run under the line. It's going to be the Sunstrike coming out from the Invoker. Will be able to pick up the kill. And Donk just has to turn and leg it. Probably could have tried to follow up onto Nick there, but almost definitely would have given away his own life in the process. Meanwhile, top lane, Sargia duking out the Mateen, what's it called, the Crystal Nova. Meanwhile, mid lane, Invoker getting taken out here quite intensely by the just the poison tick coming out from Cloxy, and brings him down from half in a matter of 3 clicks. Meanwhile, Juggernaut getting the kill on Clockwork in the top lane, but may actually go down here himself. Hasn't got the heal. Ooh, and gets away with by the skin of his teeth. But yeah, Dad Gaming sitting with the early advantage here, swinging it down to a 4k gold lead at the 5-minute mark. I suspect the XP would be telling a similar story, nearly 3k. So yeah, we're just going to be TPing back and healing up. I don't even think Dad's going to have to bother trying to de-sentry this. There just isn't really much damage coming out from... Ooh, hang on, mid lane Viper does manage to find... Actually, Viper manages to be found out by the Invokers, so that'll be him going down for, I believe, the 2nd time. But yeah, I don't believe they're actually going to have to worry about taking out these sentry wards, because there just isn't enough damage coming out from Salt Gaming quite yet for it to be a constant issue. They really have to devote quite a lot to killing off the Clinks. Not to mention with his Skeleton Walk, he's getting out of there quite quickly with that 22 move speed buff. So even if he is invis, he can still leg it pretty efficiently. And yeah, Nick's still sitting very underleveled, 6-minute mark, not even the level 4 yet. Sitting with only the 11 last hits, really not where you need to be as the Alchemist. Meanwhile in the mid lane, Fair getting taken out here by the poison, but we'll be able to get away using that Ghost Walk. And so yeah, Cluxy looking for a couple more easy mid kills like that, just trying to work down Fair, who of course Invoker has a naturally very low health until it starts building the items. Now Mateen and Sargia are both sitting here. Sargia knows that he's there. Turns around, Matea wants to get something off, trying to run out of range. And Sargia found himself kind of in Nomad's land, gets caught in the middle of 3 essentially. Sunstrike coming out, Sargia pulling himself out of the fight. The Sun now coming out onto Fair. Fair will go down in exchange for the Clockwork, not the trade that they were looking for. And just missing on the blast out there coming from the Vengeful Spirit. Meanwhile, Eldest Tad finding that free farm in the top lane. And Nick remains underleveled.
Radiant just fortified their structures. Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
But yeah, Nick is not having a good time down here. Almost 8 minutes in, only on the 12 last hits. And he can't even go into the jungle to farm yet because he doesn't have that level 6. So he's just not having a good time. Meanwhile, Eldest Dad should be getting the last hit here on the top tower. Missed deny coming out there from Grim Peeper. And Eldest Dad goes in with the ultimate. And a combination of that and a right click manages to get the pick off on Skywrath Mage. So Eldest Dad just having a very good time early on, seeing it 4 for 1. And net worth has swung down to almost a 7k gold advantage in favor of Dad Gaming. So Salt is starting to fall behind. I think pretty sure they know it at this point. Don getting off the stun there. Ghostwalk is still available, but is being scouted out by the Sentry Ward. And Salt Invoker going down for I believe the 4th time. So yeah, hard times in mid for him as well. And so yeah, just Dad Gaming immediately just started chipping away at that mid tower. Hookshot coming out here from Sagia, trying to get the cogs off. Catches Clarksy and pushes back Donk and Mateen. That's exactly what he wanted, but now he's just caught in the Crystal Nova coming out. Viper getting the kill off on the Clockwork. Mill tower is denied, however, by 6836. Eldest Dad coming in here for Nick. Now Nick doesn't actually have his ultimate, so he won't be able to heal up in time. Will probably be going down, and does so. Eldest Dad with that dominating streak. And will actually go down to the Invoker Sunstrike. Didn't get out of the way in time. And so a good Sunstrike into Ghostwalk will save Fair's life and help him pick up the kill there. So good work for him. But alas, that is still that's a good start. This is a very uphill climb, coming back from nearly a 9k gold deficit and about a 7k XP deficit. But yeah, with Nick going down yet again, still hasn't actually found that level 6. Only seen with the Magic Wand and Boots of Speed with that Stout Shield on board, but this is the 10-minute mark. He should really be significantly ahead of where he is right now. At least maybe a hand of Midas to speed up that farm, but he just doesn't have the gold or really any kind of way of catching up. Sagia getting initiated on here by 3. Does pop off the battery assault, so it's going to make it harder to take him down, but not impossible. Juggernaut getting a kill on the Skywrath Mage back in the mid lane. Clink's taking out the Alchemist as well. A total of a triple kill coming out for Dad. Phase no kill is getting harassed down here. The Sunstrike coming out from Fair, and the hasted up Nick's Assassin chasing him down. But he'll just run under the tower. They don't have the damage to actually stop him. And so yeah, it's just going to be Dad Gaming rotating around and taking out the Tier 1 down in the bot lane. Not much Salt can really do about this right now. Clark easy with that mechanism on board, giving his team even more survivability in the fights. And swinging the gold deficit down to nearly an 11k gold advantage in favor of Dad. And they're just going to keep steamrolling through, going to come and try and take out this Tier 2. And Salt do need to react to this. Sagia sitting off the back has the hookshot on board. But still doesn't have any major items, doesn't have a Vanguard, doesn't have, isn't anywhere near starting off his Aghanim Scepter. Meanwhile, mid lane, Invoker actually killing Clinks, but Vengeful Spirit getting the return kill on the Invoker. Not what Invoker should be doing while people are chipping away to his bottom tier 2. Hookshot coming out here from Sagia, wanting to try and catch him in the cogs, but no one Eldest Dad has his Blade Fury up. And it's just too little too late. The ultimate from a team will be enough to kill off the Clockwork. Salt, as well as 6836, getting pushed back onto the tower. Doesn't have the Spy Carapace, so he's defenseless right now up against Clarksy. But Clarksy decides to turn his focus onto Grim Peeper, and that takes him down. Double kill coming out for the Viper now as he takes out both Skywrath and the Nyx Assassin. And to Eldest Dad decides to dive under tower. The Blade Fury enough to stop Nyx's stun, and Juggernaut able to pick up the kill, leading to the team wipe. And they're just going to keep pushing their way into this bottom tier 2. And Dad pulling out a pretty immense lead at this point, swinging it down to almost a 14k gold advantage. Almost getting the kill on Clarksy and Eldest Dad. Eldest Dad walking away with about 25 HP. Clarksy himself also getting out there on pretty minimum health. So a bit of an unlucky Sunstrike there. Invoker, the only really leveled member of his team, sitting with the Hand of Midas in 15k. 1500 gold in the bank, not 15k. Yeah, taking a look at the net worth. The top 3 farmers on the board are members of a dad, and out of the top 6, 5 of them are from dad. So that's really telling the tale here. Salt Gaming just starting to fall further and further behind. The total net worth on Nick right now is 1700, so he just isn't finding his feet. Still without a major item at the 13-minute mark. So this Alchemist has just been a completely moot point. Dad doing exactly what they had to do to stop any progress from the Alchemist. And now going to be walking into this rush. Going to be hoping to pick up the Aegis before the next fight. It's not like they realistically need it, but it will be good just for that little bit of extra confidence boost when pushing the high ground. 14k gold advantage now, going in favor of Dad Gaming with that 10k XP lead. Aegis now going the way of Juggernaut, who has that Ring of Aquila, Mask of Madness, and Yasha on board. So that is a lot of attack speed coming out from him. Meanwhile, Klings finds a solo assassination kill, able to pick up Skyrath Mage. They know roughly where he is, and Sargia very well off the mark with that hook shot there. Fair enough, there was aiming for that invis target. Looking for the return now. No phase, no kill, just comes straight back into it. Runs over the Observer, but with no sentry ward there, is just going to be able to safely get through. Meanwhile, 4 men from Dad Gaming make the rotation around to the mid. Clarksy looking for this kind of defensive push, trying to just force back members of Salt to zone them back into the actual mid area. Now Clarksy will come across Sargia. Sargia not in a position he wants to be in, only the level 7, but is able to pop a haste rune, dropping cogs, gets himself out of there. Pretty standard defensive play there coming out from the Clockwork, but that just means that they know that there's at least 2 members of Salt up in the top jungle who won't be able to get back and defend the tower in time, so that'll be a tier 2 probably going down by the 15-minute mark. And Salt aren't even going to try and contest this properly by the looks of it. They're going to just have to let the tower fall. Just going for the deny if nothing else.
Across the cosmos, and I've seen a ton of different realities, and let me tell you, this is definitely not a remarkable moment at all, in any way, shape, or form.
Rick and Morty announced back for you all, ladies and gentlemen. Thought I'd just be quiet so you could listen to that one for a second. But yeah, the Twitch stream going to be looking not that great at the moment. Bad internet, classic Telstra. So going to probably look to upgrade to My Republic, fiber optic broadband provider. Also the proud sponsor of the Anzac Cup. Yeah, give them a shout out if you're finding that your internet is dropping out. They'll see if you're in their area and they'll see what they can do for you. Sure, they can chuck you a deal if they can help us pay for video games. And now the initiation coming out 6836 was underneath the sentry ward. Not much damage coming out. Sargia trying to get in the middle of it. Catches no one in the cogs. Rolls back to the fight. Crystal Maiden just dropping off the ult. Gets to pick out the double kill. Juggernaut himself also finding that double kill. And they just call the GG. They just tapping out again, even earlier than the last game in the early 15-minute mark. So yeah, Dad Gaming in a very commanding manner. They did exactly what I said they had to do, completely cancelling out that Alchemist farm in the early game, and managed to finish by the 15-minute mark. So the late game potential of Salt didn't even come into it at all. And we see the Alchemist finishing 0-6 with only 27 last hits in 15 minutes. So really a symbol of just how much harassment they were getting on him. Alchemist only just hit his level 6 by the end of that game. So it's just too hard coming up against the pretty much all ranged lineup of Dad Gaming. So alas, that will be the end of this series, with Dad Gaming taking it 2-0. And I'm not sure if Salt's getting a second chance or not. We'll need to look at the rankings, which you can find over at, I believe, the Anzac website. Yeah, so check out our sponsor in My Republic, fiber optic broadband. Go give them a look. Thank you to Anzac Dota for actually hosting all this. Thanks to the teams playing. And yeah, stick around for the rest of the day. We've got a few more games coming up a bit later.